What's going on YouTube? This is Germinator and I've got an update video on my aquarium. I've got a lot to talk about actually today, so let's get started. So as you can see, this is my 37-gallon top fin aquarium kit from PetSmart. If you've seen my recent videos, you know all about it, all the modifications I've done to it, and a little bit about the fish I've got in it. Well, here's a video about a couple more fish I've added. Obviously, as you can see, I've added some zebra danios. I added about 20 of them. I know that was a little bit of an overkill. I added them as dither fish. I added them so kind of my dwarf cichlids would want to come out more and be a little more active. I read they were pretty good dither fish. They're pretty fast moving. I wanted something that Goliath, my angelfish, wasn't able to kind of chase around, nip at, or eat, which he hasn't seemed to really have done that. So they are kind of doing the trick, adding some more life to the tank because he's pretty slow moving, and the dwarf cichlids I have are kind of slow moving too. So I think I lost one or two of the danios. I think the initial shock of me adding a large amount of them probably kind of contributed to that. I'm sure the water parameters got a little bit out of whack immediately afterwards. I'm not gonna lie, I also kind of neglected the tank a little bit and kind of got it back on track now, so everything's good at this point. Also, aside from the danios, I did lose a few of those autocinclus I mentioned. I had about 5 of them. I think I lost probably 2 or 3. My tank's 6 weeks old now, so it's just about to where it's, you know, perfectly cycled and everything. Autocinclus are very fragile to new tanks, so I just kind of took a gamble putting them in there. They were doing pretty good, and then they obviously didn't make it. Looks like there's some eggs here. Wow, look at that. I didn't even know those were there. Look at that. We've got some eggs. I don't know who those belong to. I'm going to assume they belong to this electric blue ram. I thought I had all males. Maybe I was mistaken. I've got another one over there. He kind of ran away, or she. Maybe that's the family or the pair. I'm not sure. Did not know I had eggs. I added this Apistogramma borelli. He had I'm assuming he's the male. He's very colorful. He had a girlfriend. She didn't make it either. She was one of the ones that kind of didn't make it on me when I added a lot of fish at once. Kind of like an idiot. But again, you live and you learn with fish tanks. Pretty beautiful Apistogramma. I like this fish a lot. I also have an Apistogramma cockatoide right here. There's a couple names for it, double red, flame, whatever you want to call them. He's by himself. He kind of runs this cave all of a sudden. This is his spot. Look, there's the other Apistogramma. That's his spot. I wish he would come out, but he's a hider. He's got some nice red on his fins, and I'm sure over time he'll look a lot better. So I added those 2 Apistogrammas. I also added 3 bronze or green cories. There's one of them, the smaller one you can see right there. I added 3 of those that size, and 2 of them didn't make it. However, I got 2 larger ones. I work at a fish store, and a customer relinquished them. He didn't want them anymore. So I took them, which was perfect because I lost 2 cories. So the 2 larger ones made a great addition to the tank. I got the cories to kind of clean up any leftover debris from food that the fish didn't decide to really eat. So that's pretty much it. I did also lose, I think 2 more of the electric blue rams. I had 5 initially, lost 1, and then I think I lost 2 more. They just kind of didn't make it over time. So I lost kind of a good amount of fish. 2 danios, 2 autos, 2 cories, 2 rams, and I lost like 1 whisker shrimp, which I have another one right here. There's an auto too, so I got an auto left, and there's a whisker shrimp. So yeah, adding There's the apistogramma. He's coming out, but he's pretty cool. He runs that tank, or that cave, should I say. Yeah, adding all that fish at once was kind of a stupid move. I thought I could kind of, do some water changes and kind of get through it. I didn't really do that. I kind of neglected the tank. That was my fault. Everyone here seems to be healthy and happy. I think this is kind of it for this tank. I'm not really going to do anything else. I'm pretty overstocked, but I have that Marine Land 350, so my gallons rated on that filter are a lot higher than the tank. So I think from here on out, everything should be a-okay. We're going to see how everybody does in this tank. Mind you, I don't medicate or quarantine my fish. So with that being said, those fish could have been sick as well. There's really no way to tell. I think one of the cories was sick because like right after I put him in, he just didn't look too hot. So, those fish might have even just been sick. Maybe not the rams because I've had them for a few weeks. I've had them a lot longer. But, those other fish that died fairly quickly, could have been my fault. Could have been the bad fish. So who knows? But what's done is done. I've got this. If you remember one of my old videos, I got the filter pad here that I bought at Walmart, 100% polyester. JDO Fish Tanks, Jason from JDO Fish Tanks gave me this idea. You put a little filter sock over the intake and use some rubber bands, and that'll trap all debris going into your filter, which keeps your filter a lot more clean. Right now that is pretty dirty. I'm going to change it out today. Like I said, I kind of neglected my tank, so I did a really extreme cleaning of the tank, and which stirred up a lot of debris, and cleaned out my filter, and then immediately putting that on the intake, a lot of that debris had actually sucked onto it and stuck to it, so that got pretty dirty pretty quickly. So I did that a few days ago. I'm going to be changing out that little filter sock today. Also, I think because it's a little clog, it made my bio wheels stop spinning for the most part. I think it's kind of obstructed the water flow on the filter. I would be more concerned about that, but as I mentioned in previous videos, this is actually full of ceramic media, so that's kind of the powerhouse of my biological media there. The wheels are just an added bonus. Never really cared for the wheels anyways because they kind of stop spinning in my experience, but they're good to have either way. So once I kind of take care of that, that'll probably fix my spinning issue. But everyone's looking good, everyone's happy, everyone's healthy. So that is the update on the 37 gallon. But I've got some more stuff to show you guys, and we're gonna take a walk over here and show you the new tank I just got. Here we go. There's my cat Nacho staring outside. So this is a 40 breeder. I have got 4 pretty much full grown African clawed frogs in here. There's 2, from my understanding, that is a female. I think the rest are males from what I was told. There's another 2 right there. So long story short, like I said, I work at a pet store. Sorry for the glare of the sun. Let me try and see if I can fix that a little bit. Not much better, but whatever. I work at a pet store, and I've been wanting to get some African clawed frogs. We sell them at my job, and I was gonna get 2 and a 20 long because they need 10 gallons each. Thought that'd be a cool little tank to kind of play around with. So a guy came in and said he had 4 of these in a 50-gallon tall. Let me close this window and see if this makes it any better. That made it better. Guy said he had 4 of these in a 50-gallon tall he was trying to get rid of. So I go, and he said they were 2 to 3 inches. So I go over to his house, and these things are pretty freaking huge. I mean, definitely bigger than 2 to 3 inches. Nearly, I'd say at least 5, maybe 6. So I take the 50-gallon tall, I take the frogs. He had a huge pleco that was over a foot long. I gave that to my buddy. I didn't really want that in this tank. He gave me a Marine Land 220 canister filter, which I'm using. And I gave the tank to my buddy as well that I gave the Pleco to. It was a 50 tall. These guys could use more surface area than height. They like to move around, so, and plus they breathe from the air, so they got to swim up, and tall tanks just aren't as good for them. So got this 40-gallon breeder at Petco for $50. It was 50% off. They were doing their dollar per gallon sale. However, they've limited the tanks you can get on the dollar per gallon sale. It's only like 10, 20, 29s. Like, you can't really get any bigger tanks anymore. But as a part of the sale, they also had this 50-gallon 50% off. So I got that for $50. Got the stand for $60. It's just your regular metal stand. So I've got these guys in here. I added 40 pounds of aquatic river pebbles, the Zoomed brand. So I got two 20-pound bags of those. Added these kind of fake lily pads. They look pretty cool. Kind of adds to the frog effect. They kind of hang out in them and lay on them and stuff. Eventually I'm going to add a little more decor, probably some kind of hides for the frogs. That way they have somewhere to hide. Probably going to do terracotta, either pots, or they make these terracotta hideouts for like small animals like rabbits and guinea pigs. And they're actually cool little like square tubes that are rounded off. Probably going to throw like one or two of those in there, give them a hideout. And they don't have a heater. These frogs are very resilient and actually don't really need a heater or a light. I am going to get a glass lid for this tank eventually and a light just to have the light. Whether I have it on a lot or not, you know, we will see what happens. Definitely just want a light and a lid either way, because these guys definitely could jump out. But with no heater, this thing's sitting at 75 degrees. I live in Florida. It's pretty warm here anyway, so you don't really need a heater either. But even without a heater, I probably won't install one. The tank's doing fine. Eventually, I'm probably going to add goldfish in here. I'm not sure, though, because they are very voracious, and I'm afraid they would outcompete the frogs for food and or maybe try to munch on the frogs. But I definitely need a bigger fish that they won't be able to fit in their mouths, because these guys will eat anything that you put in that tank that is big enough for them to swallow. So maybe goldfish. I do only feed these guys like every other day, and I feed them Reptimin turtle sticks, floating sticks. Every other day these guys gobble these down. That's what the guy was feeding them. Read online, that's kind of what's good for them. They eat all kinds of stuff, though. They'll literally eat anything you throw in there. So I'm afraid the goldfish will outcompete them for food, because goldfish are very hungry all the time. So we'll see. Maybe two goldfish, like some Mirandas, some larger ones. Who knows? We'll figure out what we're going to put in there. But for right now, these guys are doing all right. I need to clean this canister out. I did not clean it out. I wanted all that kind of sludge and bacteria in there to kind of kickstart this tank, because it's a new tank. So it's been about a week. I'm going to go in there, probably clean it out, rinse off the biomedia, and call it a day. Now, when I first saw this female, I was like, man, she's fat. But actually, that is a condition called bloat. The frogs are not supposed to look like that. Supposedly, it's from poor conditions. The guy kept them pretty healthy, took care of them. I don't think he might have maintained the aquarium water changes as often as he probably should have. So that leads to bloat, and these frogs are not able to excrete this fluid out from underneath their skin. They're actually supposed to be able to excrete that fluid. They're not supposed to be fat like that. When that frog moves, its skin kind of waves back and forth, and you can tell there's some kind of fluid built up under the skin. That's what they're supposed to look like. This frog actually has some bloat going on with it as well, and then that one seems perfectly fine. So there's a way to supposedly heal them from the bloat, like Epsom salt baths or something like that. I might attempt to do that, or I might just take good care of them and see if it changes, or if they just live a healthy life with the bloat. So we'll figure it out, but I've only had them about a week. But they're pretty cool. It's a cool little tank. Going to be better in the future when I make some more additions. And of course, we were at Petco, and the wife said, well, you're getting all these fish tanks. What do I get? So I'll bring you over to our next addition of the family. And that is, if we can see them, let me focus. We've got fire and we've got ice. So we got 2 new bettas. They're in 1 gallon top fin little plastic aquariums. I know some people are going to say, oh, bettas are supposed to be in 2.5 gallons minimum, or bettas are supposed to be in 5 gallons minimum. The way I see it, guys, these bettas were in tiny little cups in Petco, and now they've got a nice little aquarium to live in. We initially were going to do both of the bettas in an unfiltered, like, split type of tank that was like a gallon. So theoretically, they would have each had a half a gallon, which would have been super small. But the price of one of those was like 20 bucks for that little split aquarium. PetSmart, yeah, had these 1 gallons on sale for like $11.99. So we got each of them their own little tank for a little bit more money. So they got the little 1 gallon. They got LED lights. They're filtered. They've got little feeding doors. They know what time it is when I open that door. Look at this guy. He's ready to eat, man. He's a super good looking betta. She initially wanted him, and then I was like, why not get another one? So, the way I see it, they're way better off than where they were in Petco. They're perfectly fine in these little 1 gallons. They're happy, they're healthy. So they're a cool little addition to our kitchen. Fire and ice. So now I went from 1 aquarium to take care of to 4. So it's been fun, but we definitely like fish here, and that's kind of the update on my situation here. I was going to do separate videos about all these tanks, but I decided to just do it all in one video. Maybe in the future I'll do updates separately and just keep, let you guys know how everybody's doing and all that good stuff. So that is my video, guys. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. And until next time, you guys have a good one.